This video is for all my new CMOs, marketing directors. You've got a brand new role. Maybe you've moved up in a company. Maybe you're actually taking on a new position entirely. And there are some essential things to really get you to jumpstart your successes, your performance within the context of that new role. And I want to give you just a quick insight and overview of the things that you need to do starting day one to really hit the ground running, to figure out the type of digital marketing platform you have to work with, and then to ultimately start building your strategy around what you have available. And we've written a couple different articles here on kaleidoco.com, and I'll share these as links down below this video. But we've got one that's just kind of a 90-day overview. I use a framework. It's very similar to what I use with new clients to figure out how we can have the biggest impact as fast as possible. So there's a nice framework here. The other thing that often, especially in this kind of still in the middle of this pandemic COVID thing, is really what do you do in crisis situations? And there are some lessons that I've put inside of this article that are specific to COVID, but I also try to generalize it. In my career, I've moved through multiple different sort of market crises, sometimes crisis within the business itself. Maybe something's changed in the marketplace with your customer base that creates some dramatic crisis moments. And there's a particular way to handle that within the context of marketing. So that's another nice article to go through. And then this is the one I'm going to focus this video on today. And then ultimately I'll actually put this video inside of this piece of content. But really that tactical plan. So you've just shown up inside of this new company, or again, maybe you've acquired the new role of marketing director or CMO inside of your own organization. These are just a 3-step plan to dig in and figure out what you have to work with as it pertains to digital marketing and your website in particular. And I'm going to show you how to dig into Google Analytics to see what you have to take advantage of, and then of course how to take advantage of it. But sometimes it's just a look. The looking and the review process can be complex, and that's what I've run into. So I want to give you a little tutorial here. So let's dig into that. So the first thing you want to do is just make sure you have access to the website itself and to Google Analytics, and then ultimately to Search Console. And so we're going to dig into Google Analytics part of that to again see what you have to take advantage of, what your opportunities are, and even just to navigate to do this quick review. So the first thing you want to figure out in all cases, particularly as it pertains to a website, is do I have any traffic today? And with this traffic, what can I potentially do with it? What are my lead generation opportunities? How can I, as quickly as possible, generate some leads? So the first place that I go is, of course, just logging in. I'm using kaleidoco.com, our own website. You want to dig into here. Let me shut down my noisemaker. Slack is going to town here. Okay, so I want to go into my Google Analytics account. I want to go into this acquisition level, and then I dig into my channels, because this will tell me on a channel basis, whether it pertains to paid or organic, where am I currently acquiring traffic. And when I talk about traffic, that means web visitors. And hopefully, assuming that my website and the content on it is relevant to what I do or what I offer as a business, these are individuals that are ripe to become sales leads. So I'm looking in here, and you can see right off the bat, in our particular case, organic search or SEO and content is our number one sort of traffic generator. And then we've got some referrals coming from other places, things like social media, that sort of thing, direct people that just know us as a brand and are directly typing things in. And paid search, and then social. And so it tells me right off the bat that, if I'm a brand new marketing director, I'm probably going to want to focus most of my attention, in organic. That's where I've already got traffic, and that's where I can, of course, turn that traffic into leads, and where I'll have some opportunity to turn it into leads. It also shows that I'm generating some goals. You want to make sure that your goals are set up. I'm generating some goal completions. So in our case, those are leads. And then if I'm looking for kind of opportunity, you can see my paid search is a little bit lower down here, but there are some goal completions coming through here. Probably a lot of room to move that traffic up, and then of course move the number of leads that I'm generating in paid. So right off the bat, I know I'm going to focus my attention on SEO and content because that's already fruitful for me. I'm already generating some traffic. How can I squeeze a little bit more out of that? Maybe get a little bit of a higher conversion rate. You can see that's a fairly low conversion rate. And then my next set of opportunities is paid in this particular case because I do have a bit of a paid program going, and it's starting to bear some fruit. So again, what can I do to really scale that component? The next thing that I want to do is then kind of go into the behavior part of this and figure out, I know that this is the channels, but what are the actual pages that are generating that traffic and providing those opportunities for goal conversion. So I want to go into my behavior and I want to go into my site content and I want to look at the landing pages that are driving that. The other way you can do that too, if you want to, is you can use a secondary dimension here and go down into landing pages and drill into this. I like to do it this way. It's a little bit cleaner because I can just dive into the overall landing pages. But if you wanted to know of these organic ones, well, I'll go ahead and show you just to make it easy. If you wanted to focus this on your organic, let's go back here just to give you an idea of how you can kind of do this. Is you can drill into this organic search. That way you're just looking at the organic opportunity, and then of course you can look at landing pages within that subset of traffic. You can see I have a little bit of bot traffic. You can always get rid of that by just saying exclude that traffic bot. So we're going to get rid of that little bot problem. Popular websites, you're going to see some of that come in and sort of hit you. But I can see real quickly all the landing pages as it pertains to SEO and content specifically, those strategies where I can get some more opportunities. But so that's how you can do it if you want to look at just a particular channel. But I want to look just kind of overall what's generating opportunities for me. So again, I'm going to exclude. It's going to be a little bit of a pain, but I want to get rid of that false positive there. Okay, so if I look at here, this is across all my different channels. And again, if I'm focused on organic, I can drill into that. If I'm focused on the paid opportunity, I can drill into that and do a similar sort of exercise. But in this, I just want to look overall to the website, what's driving the most number of sessions. And then I want to look at those sessions and to see if I have some opportunities to improve. Well, generating leads through the home page, you get 5 minutes on site. That's not a problem. But I do have this one page that's getting quite a bit of impressions, but they're not spending a lot of time on that page, which probably means they're actually not getting what they're looking for. And so we would take a look at this page and figure out how we can improve that content to better match the searches that are being driven into this page by Google. And so as a result, we can get some read time up on that and probably start to generate some goal completions. You can see some of these others. I'm not getting goal completions, but I'm getting a pretty significant amount of read time on these. So there's obviously value in these pages. But for whatever reason, probably because we don't have good call to actions, maybe we don't even have a form on that page or a phone number, we're not actually getting the follow through. So that's how I would assess the landing pages that I need to work on. Again, this is all things you're looking for to have quick hits within the next 30, 60, 90 days. And so I can see even within my own website, that if I was responsible for marketing, which I am, I'm going to spend a little bit of time improving this page and seeing if I can generate some clients out of it. And then, of course, there's other ones, new CMO strategy. We're actually working on this one right now. I'm doing a video to put a little bit more teeth and value into this content. And then ultimately on that page, we're going to encourage people like yourself to actually reach out to us and schedule a discovery session. So we're going to try to take all of this valuable read time and encourage you to kind of take the next step. the next thing that I want to do is then go down into my conversion section. And well, there's a couple of things that I can do here. I'm actually not going to go down this path, but let's go back up into our acquisition, and let's look at our Search Console as the last of the 3 steps that we want to review. So we looked, hey, where's the traffic? What pages are potentially have the most opportunity to actually generate some goal conversions or some leads, because that traffic is going to those particular pages. And then the last piece is to go into Search Console. The third of these steps is to go into Search Console and look where Google is giving us a lot of impressions, but we just haven't done a good enough job to get ourselves on page 1 of those searches. But Google's essentially saying, hey, we're giving you impressions for this particular type of search query, and on these particular pages, if you just do a little bit more for our audience, our searchers, then we'll move you up to page 1. So let's take a look at that. So we're going to go to acquisition again. We're going to go to Search Console. First thing that we want to look at is the actual queries themselves, and then we'll go back up to landing pages. Again, same sort of article or same sort of order is to figure out, 1, where's the traffic, and then 2, what landing pages are in the best position to grab that traffic and turn it into leads. So I want to look at my search queries. The first thing that I do is I open this pretty wide. Let's go for, we've got like 5,000 different, keywords that Google is giving us some impressions for. And then the first thing that I want to do, once I have kind of all these keywords up here, you can see by default it's sort of by clicks. So those are already the ones that are giving you clicks, and we kind of already saw that in our other sort of traffic analysis and conversion analysis. What I'm looking for here is, where is there a lot of traffic? Google says I have some content that is relevant to that traffic, but it's not good enough to put me on page 1. So the first thing I want to do is, where are those big chunks of traffic at? So what has, of these keywords, what has the most impressions? So I'm going to resort this to get the highest impressions at the top. So you can see these are the keywords that my website is getting impressions for. And Google says there's lots of search volume there, but you can see I'm not getting the clicks, right? Or I'm not getting the click-through rate. So there could be a combination of problems. If I'm not getting the clicks, or if I'm not getting the clicks, I probably just am not on page 1. If I'm not getting the percentage once I'm on page 1, then for whatever reason there's a mismatch between the search and the content. And usually you can't get on page 1 if you have that mismatch. So usually you really just, either one of these are relevant, right? In this particular case, I am getting a couple of clicks for this, but it's not nailing it. And that's because I'm so far down. So when I'm looking at positions, I'm looking to be within the top 10. That gets me on the first page. And if I'm looking for opportunities, I'm looking for everything that's, probably in this 20 to 30 range, maybe even 45. But I know that, hey, these are all relevant keywords. There's a ton of traffic here. I just got to get on page 1. So when I'm building out my marketing plan, I'm taking notes as a new CMO or marketing director. I'm writing down these keywords because these are the ones I'm going to work on, because 1, Google already acknowledges that I do have some sort of content that's relevant, and it's giving some impressions, or it's saying some impressions are available. Now I just got to move ourselves up into that first page so that I can get the actual clicks that are related to this. So the last step of this third step is to go and figure out, okay, what are the landing pages that are giving me those impressions? Because now I need to work on those pages so that I can get them ranking onto the first page. So I just do kind of the same thing here. I'm getting landing pages. Again, I want to sort these by impressions, so they're already sorted for the highest impressions available. And I've got a nice little editorial calendar, like these are the pages that I need to focus on in order to raise the number of sessions that I can get out of it. And the way to get more sessions is of course, take this average position up. And each of these pages are probably going to have several keywords, so you'll have to do some refinement to figure out exactly what keywords you can move up or how to improve the page. That's kind of a second level of analysis just figuring out what to do to those pages to get them to rank. But the goal here is, hey, this is my editorial calendar. These pages need to be rewritten in order to get more of these total available impressions, and then move this average position up into that 10 or less position on an average basis. And sometimes these will move like 20 because the average, you'll have some at 30, you'll have some at maybe 4 or 5. So anyway, but those are the areas that you want to look at when you're doing this day one analysis of what is your web platform and what is available to me to make some quick hits and quick wins. So just as a quick recap to all that, I'm going acquisitions, I'm looking at all traffic, I'm looking at channels first, then I'm going down into my Search Console section, I'm looking at queries, and then I'm looking at landing pages. So hopefully that helped. Enjoy the video, go and look for the link so that you can actually access the page. And of course, if you have any questions, I'm always available for one-off questions. You can find my email on the website, bill.rice@kaleidoco.com, or of course, schedule a discovery session. They're free, and I guarantee you will get at least one win out of that quick 30-minute session. Talk to you on the next one.